All right, next we want to make a couple of adjustments to this new roof. So I want to select both of these two components, and then we're going to move it out even a little bit more so that it's actually not overlapping these pillars at all. So we've got kind of like this roof is kind of sheltering this roof, but this one's out here and it's kind of sticking out into this land. Now, we want to make changes to these two roofs, but not these two. But since they're both the same column, or since they're both the same component, we can't do that quite yet. So try this. We have this one selected. We have these two things selected with the select tool. So select one, hold shift, select the other one. Right click it, and then make them unique. So now these two are their own component, and these two are their own component. So now if I edit this one, it'll change this one, but not these other ones. So you have to have them both selected using click and then shift and then click. Now we'll go in and edit one of these. First thing we do is we'll get rid of that. The next thing we'll do is slide this one over so that it's hold shift to lock in that green axis, and then we'll infer it to the midpoint on this column so that it's right there. Now, this is kind of the tricky part. We want to move this bar over so that it's kind of like in the middle here. So let's try this. First, we want to drag a selection box, use the selecting tool, drag a selection box around this whole edge. Notice it'll select everything that was completely inside that box. You can use this to your advantage. So let's use the move tool, and we'll drag that in a little ways on the green axis so that it's kind of inside. Next, we want to get our camera just right so that we can select the middle bar and nothing else. Grab the move tool, pull it in so that's kind of in the middle, and that looks a little bit better. All right. Click back outside, and then we still have our pillars sticking out of these roofs, and we'll deal with that in a little bit. Actually, we'll deal with that right now. So this is another instance where we're going to need to make some things unique, unique from other things. So if we look at these, which ones are going to be the same? Well, these two are going to be the same, and these two are going to be the same, but these two will each be different. So we'll click on two of these. Hold the shift key, click on that, so we have both of these selected. Right click on it, and say make unique. So, and then we'll click on this one, make it unique, and then we'll click on this one and make it unique. And here's how we do this. This is a really neat trick. So we have to do it, if we do it to one of these, so let's go into this one. Let's kind of zoom in underneath here so we can look at this. Grab the pencil, the line tool, and then we're just going to draw a line along this intersection, where it intersects with the support beam. And then we can just grab the push-pull tool to push-pull this edge to its face, and that'll slice it right off. So the part where it's inside of this is now gone. This one we can do the same thing. You can use your line tool. Oh, sorry, we have to actually get inside that component. There we go. So click out, and then go into this component, line tool, draw a line here, and now I can use my X-ray mode with the push-pull tool. I can hit X to go into X-ray mode, and then I can just push this down to that back edge, and then it'll do the same for the other one. Turn off X-ray mode, and here we are. We'll do the same for the other columns here, and these ones have to be done individually. Line tool, L for line tool, by the way. Intersection, push-pull, line tool, push-pull, and there it's gone. And there we go. Now, let's do something kind of cool. Let's expand our playgrounds kind of like like size. We're going to add another platform. So let's grab this whole thing. So I'm dragging the selection box around this whole thing, and notice the only thing that ends up selected is all of the stuff that was completely inside of that bounding box. So if you do it right, make sure that nothing from over here got selected, but if you do it right, you should get all 4 pillars, the platform, and the roof. And let's do something. Let's make this a group for just a moment. Or actually, before we, don't do this quite yet. Okay, so select the whole thing, grab the move tool, and then grab this and move it out over here on the green axis. Hit Control to make the duplicate copy. And now grab your select tool and make this a group for just a second while we work on it. It makes it easier so you don't accidentally unclick something. So we're going to keep working with the move tool, and let's rotate this thing 90 degrees. I guess we'll rotate it to 0. I just keep an eye on this down here, so see where it's going. So like, okay, there's 90. If I'm coming down here, it looks like that. I want it on that red axis so that it looks like it's, yeah, it looks like it's at 0. Then we want to move some stuff around, so we'll grab this edge here and get it going in the red axis, and then infer to the outside of this pillar right here, and so that they're lined up correctly, and it looks like they are. And then for fun, let's grab it, and now we can explode it. Oh wait, before you explode it, keep it as a component. What we want to do is we want a 10-foot gap between here and here. Now this is actually kind of tricky to do, because if I grab a tape measure line and draw it out 10 feet, nope, that's 10 inches. Draw it out 10 feet. I can't actually move it, so if I grab it on this face and I get it locked to the green axis, I can't actually infer to this line because it's not on the same plane as what I'm dealing with. So I'll actually have to grab that tape measure again, drag one down in the blue axis, so then I get an infer line there. So now when I move this, I can get it locked in the green axis and then infer to this line so that I get my 10 feet between the two. And we'll delete those guides. Okay, so now we'll explode this, right-click it, so we're taking it out of the group, so it's no longer grouped together. And then we're going to do something kind of fun. We're going to, just as kind of a challenge, extend this whole piece of equipment out 4 feet. So we'll take both the pillars, start moving them in the red axis, type 4 feet. And then now we have to modify everything else. This is sort of a challenge. I'm not going to talk in detail about how this is accomplished. You can just follow along. Drag the selection tool. Bring this up. Oh, remember, that has to be made unique. Make unique. Now we can edit it, and it won't affect the other ones. Select that. Use the move tool to pull it out along the green axis, lock it to the green axis, and then infer to the outside edge of this pillar. Same thing with the roof. We'll select both of them, make them unique, and then we can edit just one of them, and it should work for the whole thing. So if I come along here, should grab everything I need, drag it out 4 feet, and grab these, move them 4 feet, and then once again grab this middle bar, move this, and I think you just need to move that one 2 feet, half the distance. So, and there it is, moved out 4 feet. Looks great. It's not actually all that centered, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. So there we have, let's do the next thing. The next thing we want to build is a bridge between these two. We'll make it kind of like an arched bridge. So here's how we'll do this. We'll start by, so in SketchUp it's really nice if you're going to do curves and arches and stuff to start with some sort of a template, some sort of a thing like a block that you cut stuff away from. So I'm going to start by, on this edge of this pillar, drawing a large rectangle to this pillar. So we've got a big rectangle, and we're going to cut our bridge out of that. We'll push-pull it to the outside of this pillar. Boom. And then we'll push-pull this up there so it's on the same platform. So let's take this actually and move this one up as well. Move in the blue axis to there. So now we want to make our arch. So we'll use the two-point arc tool, and we will we'll draw from this endpoint to this endpoint, and then we'll make a bulge of about 6 inches. Not 6 feet, 6 inches. So we'll select that arc, grab the move tool, move copy it, and then get it on the blue axis, and then infer to this. And there we've got it. Push-pull this to cut away everything that's not part of the bridge, and then double-click this face to do the same. And there we've got our bridge. To kind of finish it off a little bit, let's make it a component. Triple-click it, right-click, make component, bridge, and then go into the bridge. We'll select this face, and well, actually, we'll double-click it to select just that face. We'll take the move tool, we'll grab it and hit Control to duplicate it, so I have a copy of that like arced face. Move it just a little ways away into the red direction. Then we're going to push-pull it, say 3 inches, which is the width of this column. So what we'll do now is with the move tool, we'll grab, we'll select it, triple-click it to select the whole thing. We will grab it with the move tool from this corner and then infer it to that corner. So that means that it will nest in there, and it'll be kind of like a little toe kick. Let's do the same thing. Move it over here, hit Control to move copy it, and then infer to that point. Let's grab the two of them. Or, you know what? Let's undo that. Have this guy select, oh, man. Before you move it over, make it a component. Make component, and we'll call it rail. Now, let's move it, grab this corner. There we go. Grab that corner, Control, infer to there. Now grab both of them, move them up, Control, copy them up 30 inches in the blue direction. Next thing I want to do is escape out of that and grab one of these columns and move copy that over. So we know that this is 3 inches wide, so all we have to do is move this over so that it's in that same direction. So we want to take the move tool. We will say, we'll grab it from, say, this corner right here and start moving it in. Hit the Control key to duplicate it, and then we will infer to that corner right there. So that was like the corresponding corner on here. So we grabbed it here, moved it there. Oh, I think I might have moved it up. So we'll move it from, oh yeah, so we want to lock it in that direction. So let's grab it here, lock it in the red direction, and then infer to that outside edge. There we go. Oops, and I forgot to duplicate it that time. Control Z. See, when you make mistakes, you just hit Control Z, keep it locked in the red direction, and then we'll get it on there just right. So with the select tool, I'm going to just fix up some geometry here with the line. We'll make a rectangle here. And then we will hide all the rest of the geometry, push this down so that that disappears. You don't necessarily have to do this. I probably won't notice if you don't, but I find it useful. We'll click on this guy, make it unique, because we're going to cut off a good chunk of it. And here's the easiest way to do that. We'll zoom in right here where it's connected to the bridge. Grab the line tool, start here, draw straight across in the green direction, hit escape, push pull this. You know what I did? The mistake I made there. Delete that line. I have to go into this component. Oh, Shift H, bring everything back. Draw a line in that direction, and then push pull it to get rid of the rest of it. So there's our rail. And in the next video, we'll add some rail bars. Thanks for watching.